You've probably scrolled past 100 posts this month about some 24-year-old who built an app and sold it for millions. You've watched the launch videos. You've seen the screenshots. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you've wondered why your own path to wealth still feels so far away. Here's the strange part. The people quietly getting rich right now aren't the ones you're watching. They're not pitching venture capitalists. They're not building the next big platform. Many of them don't even have a business Instagram. And in a few minutes, you're going to hear about 20 of the businesses they're actually running. Some you could start for less than $5,000, and the very last one might be the most interesting of all. But first, you need to understand why these businesses got skipped over in the first place, because the reason isn't logic. It's vanity. Economist Thorstein Veblen described this instinct more than 100 years ago as conspicuous consumption, the idea that people don't just want things, they want things that visibly signal status to others. What Veblen understood is that this instinct doesn't stop at what you buy. It bleeds into what you're willing to build. People don't just want to be wealthy. They want to look like the kind of person who's building something wealthy people are supposed to build. A tech startup photographs well. Pest control route does not. That single bias has quietly pushed millions of people away from some of the most reliable income-producing businesses in the country. So here they are, 20 of them, roughly in the order they tend to get overlooked. As you hear each one, judge it the way an investor would, not by how it sounds, but by how cheap it is to start, how often the customer has to pay again, and how few people are willing to compete for it. Number 1 is laundromats. Nobody grows up dreaming of owning one, which is part of why fewer new owners bother entering the space, even though the machines keep running and the quarters keep coming whether anyone's watching or not. Number 2 is automated car washes, where a 90-second transaction repeats itself hundreds of times a day with relatively low ongoing labor once it's running. It's the kind of business that sounds too simple to be real, which is probably why most people never bother looking into it. Number 3 is self-storage facilities. People rent a unit, forget about it, and keep paying for months simply because moving their belongings out feels like more effort than it's worth. There's no pitch, no upsell, just inertia working in the owner's favor. Number 4 is ice vending machines, and this one is stranger than it sounds. Imagine owning a machine that sells something plenty of people reach for without a second thought every summer, restocking itself around the clock outside gas stations and grocery stores with relatively low ongoing operating costs. Number 5 is pest control routes, built on contracts that bring the same technician back to the same houses every quarter without fail. It's not glamorous work, which is exactly why the operators willing to do it well rarely run out of customers. Number 6 is pool cleaning routes, where one van and a weekly schedule can service dozens of backyards on repeat. Homeowners don't shop around once they find someone reliable, because the alternative is doing it themselves. Number 7 is landscaping and lawn care contracts, unglamorous work that almost every homeowner needs handled and few actually want to do themselves. The barrier isn't skill. It's that almost nobody wants to be known as the lawn guy, even while the lawn guy quietly builds a six-figure business. Number 8 is commercial cleaning contracts, where office buildings sign annual agreements that guarantee revenue whether or not anyone notices the work being done. It's invisible by design, and that invisibility is exactly why so few people chase it. Number 9 is appliance repair. This is one of the more interesting businesses on the list because the supply of skilled technicians keeps shrinking as fewer people bother learning the trade, even as nearly every household eventually needs one. Number 10 is parking lot striping, a service every retail plaza and school needs on a schedule, using equipment that costs a fraction of what most people assume. It rarely comes up in anyone's business fantasy, which is precisely why it stays profitable. Number 11 is notary and loan signing services, a low overhead business built entirely around being available when paperwork needs a signature witnessed correctly. It sounds bureaucratic, and that's exactly why almost nobody wants to build a business around it. Number 12 is trash hauling and junk removal, where people will pay a real premium simply to avoid loading a truck themselves. Nobody wants to be the junk guy on paper. Plenty of junk guys are quietly doing very well in practice. Number 13 is pressure washing, transforming a driveway or storefront in an afternoon for a fee most owners consider cheap for the result. The equipment is affordable and the demand rarely disappears, yet almost nobody treats it as a real business until they see someone else doing it. Number 14 is vending machine routes. But here's the part people misunderstand. You're not really selling snacks. You're selling convenience in places where people don't have better options, which is why the same machine can quietly generate steady deposits with almost no daily involvement. Number 15 is gutter cleaning. It's dirty, seasonal, and nobody dreams of becoming a gutter cleaning entrepreneur. That's exactly why fewer people compete for the customers who genuinely need it done twice a year. Number 16 is dumpster rental, a business built around a handful of steel containers that get dropped, filled, and picked up again for a fee. There's no product to design and no customer to educate, just logistics most people never think think to monetize. Number 17 is mobile auto detailing, bringing the service directly to a customer's driveway instead of asking them to drive somewhere and wait. It feels like a side hustle, which is why almost nobody scales it into what it actually can become. Number 18 is portable restroom rentals, unavoidable at every construction site, festival, and outdoor event, with surprisingly little competition from people willing to deal with the mess and logistics involved. Number 19 is pet waste removal, a weekly subscription service built on a task most dog owners are more than happy to pay someone else to handle. It's an easy business to laugh at and a genuinely hard one to compete with once it's running. And number 20, the one I'd pay the closest attention to, is wash and fold laundry delivery. It combines almost everything the other 19 get right. Low equipment cost, recurring weekly customers, a service people will keep paying for indefinitely once it's built into their routine. And unlike a laundromat, it can often be run without owning a building at all. If you only remember one business from this list, this is the one worth looking into first, because it's the closest thing here to a business you could realistically start this month. Now you can see the pattern. These businesses don't need customers to get excited. They need customers to keep coming back. That's the difference between chasing revenue and building cash flow. Here's what that difference actually looks like in numbers. Imagine building a pest control route with 200 customers paying an average of $75 every quarter. That's $15,000 every 3 months from a customer base you've already acquired, not a new group you have to convince all over again next season. None of that is guaranteed profit, and expenses still come out of it. But it shows you the underlying economics that recurring customers create and why that economics behaves so differently from a one-time sale. In the 1990s, researchers Thomas Stanley and William Danko studied the financial habits of American millionaires for their book The Millionaire Next Door. Their research challenged the image of the typical millionaire. Many were business owners in ordinary industries, contractors, manufacturers, service businesses, the kinds of companies that rarely make headlines and never needed to in order to be profitable. Investor Codie Sanchez built her career on that same insight, popularizing what she calls boring businesses, arguing that excitement was never the metric that mattered. Cash flow was. And because almost nobody wants to brag about running one, competition is often surprisingly thin. Show up on time, answer your phone, and do the job right, and you can end up one of the best options in your entire zip code, simply because most people never do those 3 things consistently. None of this means the work is effortless. A commercial cleaning contract still means someone has to physically clean the building at 2 in the morning. A trash route still means loading a truck by hand. Wealth built this way comes from consistency, not cleverness, and consistency is a far less comfortable habit to build than inspiration is. It doesn't photograph well. Nobody claps for the person who shows up to unclog the same drain for the 40th time this year. But that 40th time is exactly why he's still getting paid, while flashier competitors quietly went out of business trying to reinvent something that never needed reinventing. So the next time you catch yourself scrolling past another polished startup story and feeling behind, remember what was actually happening underneath the surface the whole time. The wealth wasn't hiding in the next big idea. It was hiding in 20 businesses too boring for anyone to bother filming.